want to kind of repeat one of the things that you had kind of touched on there, and that's people, process, and technology. We used to call it like the golden pillars, right? The three things that drive IT change is the way you used to talk about it in the double aughts and 90s, right? That same concept still pervades the culture. And, a lot of our interviewees talked a lot about the people and the culture and what was going on to get them motivated to the change. That focus on a standardized process so that everybody's doing things in a similar way or consistent manner. And likewise, the adoption of standardized technologies helps speed up the process. I think that's one of the things that we've heard the most repeated. The more that they standardized the process and standardized the platforms that they were building on, the easier it was to make some of those cultural shifts and enable their people to skill up on those technology platforms or move to a new way of providing their product to the market. Every time that one of our interviewees started kind of digging into some of that process change because they don't wanted to reduce confusion or increase speed to market, there was always that thing that came back to the people, which was an interesting thing, right? And I think we heard that a lot through all the interviews. Every time they made a technology decision or a process change that was far impacting within their organizations, it drove back because they didn't want to have to rehire everybody in their company to make that change. They wanted to make it easier to smooth the path for growth with the people that they already had.
Thing that was on my mind then and now, like this is never ending, is this like, it's so easy to sit around and think of these great solutions, these great modernizations. We see it ourselves within our four walls. It's really hard to push it all the way, 100%. It's really easy to get 25% of the lap. The 50%'s fun and easy. As soon as you get to that 75%, that 80% part, that's where things start to get hard. And specifically, it's the human aspects, I think. I think it's the energy, the wherewithal, just to push things through. And it doesn't matter. Technology has very little to do with it. I think it's the people, the process, pushing that stuff through. I think that's the key to all this. And I don't think I necessarily know the answer on how to get that last arbitrary 25% pushed through. It hurts. It's very painful.
You're hitting on one of those pieces that I think everyone kind of talked about too, though, is the change, especially when you got that big vision, was like really easy for the first half of the project because everybody's behind it. They all see like this really positive stuff. We're making some huge changes. We're going to swing everything around. And then that last half really becomes the details. How do we operationalize this? How do we make it so that everybody can grow with it? Is it going to scale with what we need as a business in the future?
You second guess.
Yes. And the pivot points end up happening, right? Where do we have to start shifting and changing direction? Because none of these projects took less than 12 months. So that's where the pain, I think, comes in. And I think we heard that a lot, too, as we were going through it.
We heard Agile too. I recall Agile coming up as a mechanism to help absorb and buffer you against when those changes happen. But, again, like a broken record, but it's the people pushing is so key in all this stuff.